Sound is one of the most important components of your stream, but how do you get great sound? Do you need to spend a fortune? Do you need to get a $2,000 microphone and the Go XLR? All this and more coming up. This is Gen X Gaming. Hi everyone, I'm Wolverine Guy Kev, and before we get started, if this video is helpful to you at all, please feel free to click like down below, comment down there, subscribe to the channel, go to town, go ham on it. It helps me out though, I appreciate it. One of the first things people are going to notice about your stream is how you sound. It is, quite frankly, in my opinion, it's just as important, if not equal to your video. You want to have good sound, but does spending a lot of money really equate to getting better sound? The fact of the matter is that it's not so much how much money you're dumping into your equipment so much as learning how to use the settings correctly. I say this having a Shure SM7B and a Go XLR, and I've been using that on my stream for months now, and my sound has been so much better than what I was running before. Now, is it really directly attributable to the equipment that I have? Somewhat, sure. I mean, I have better equipment, so yes, it does have a better dynamic range and it picks up a broader range of frequencies. It's more important to understand how microphones work, what different kinds of microphones are available to you, and what settings you need to tweak to really get the most bang for your buck. Now, first and foremost, as a streamer, if you are not in a room that is treated for sound, don't bother getting a condenser mic. Get a dynamic mic. A dynamic mic will pick up far less background noise than a condenser mic. A condenser mic will pick up every little detail in the sound around you. And that's perfect for some situations, but not necessarily for streaming, especially in a room that might be live. You want your room to be as dead as possible so as to not get all of the background noise going on. And I say this as a father of four. There's a lot of background noise going on. And this mic is a dynamic mic, and it does not pick up the majority of it. Make sure you've got the right mic, dependent on the room that you have. Secondly, as far as how much you need to spend, honestly, there isn't a whole lot of difference in sound, at least on Twitch, between this mic, which runs about $400, and the one my wife has, which runs about $70. They are both dynamic mics. Hers is a USB, mine is an XLR. The sound is pretty comparable after tweaking some settings. Now, the things you need to understand with sound are EQ and compression and gate. Of the three of those, gate is the least important, but it can help cut out some background noise, especially in those dead air portions of your stream. What a gate basically is you're setting a minimum threshold of sound for the microphone to start picking up and transmitting to your computer that sound. So if you set the gate at 3 decibels, nothing below 3 decibels will trigger that mic. The gate will stay closed, keeping all of that sound out. But once you get above 3 decibels, the gate opens. Now all of the sound is coming in. It's very important to note, gate is not the same thing as noise suppression. So once the gate is open, all the background noise that could have been heard, especially if it's directly in front of the mic, it's gonna go through to your stream. EQ. Most people are familiar with EQ, but not really familiar with how exactly it works. Judging by the cars that go by my house every single day, the people in those cars only understand the left side of EQ. That's the bass. So what you want to do is you can do this on a Go XLR, which has a built-in EQ in the software. You can do it on Voicemeeter. You can do it right on OBS with the Reaper plugins. Link for those down below. Set each of those EQ bands at 0 and then go one by one, moving those up and down and figuring out what sounds good in your voice. As a general rule, the ones at the far left, unless you've got a super low voice, me, you're not going to want to have much, if anything, upped on those. Okay, so turn them down. Once you get to the middle, you want to have a slight dip, because that's where your voice gets kind of muddy. And if you bump those up, those mid-tones, then it's not going to sound that great. Finally, once you get to the ones on the right, the treble, you want to kick those up just a little bit, and you'll get a nice cut on your voice. That is a general guideline. It's my EQ settings are not going to sound good for somebody else's voice that's different from mine. I am a 43-year-old operatic baritone. My voice is very different than most other people. So my EQ settings are not going to translate to you directly. However, I will include a link to them for a frame of reference for what I'm talking about. I think that using them as a starting point could be helpful, but they're not going to be perfect for you unless you basically have the same voice as me. Finally, compression. Compression is the thing that's kind of, I think that most people just kind of look at that setting and go, I don't need it. I know that I did, at least, and until I figured out exactly what it did. So when I first turned my compression up on Voicemeeter back when I still used it, all it did was make my voice louder. What I didn't realize was that it made my louds softer. It's called compression for a reason. It's taking your lowest volume level and bringing it up, while taking your highest volume level and bringing it down. It compresses them, and it gives your voice a nice, even, regular volume level throughout the range of your voice, so that nothing will clip and nothing will be too quiet. So it normalizes all of it. This is really important. Now, with gate, what you want to do to set that is just talk as low as you think you're going to be talking. And when I say low, I mean volume level. Talk at the lowest volume level that you believe you will be talking on stream, and keep raising the gate until you cut out and it doesn't pick you up anymore. Once you figure out where that is, drop it about 0.4, 0.5. That should be good. If you have problems with that you tend to cut out a little bit, drop it a couple more. A little goes a long way here. With EQ, same thing. Make a recording of your voice and loop it, and then use the EQ sliders and keep adjusting them up and down one by one until you get a sound that you like. Now, with EQ, it's a little more complicated. Expect to spend a lot of time doing this, because every time you move a slider, it affects everything else. So you're going to want to make a couple passes through tweaking things before you get the perfect mix. Finally, with compression, you want to talk as loud as you can, absolutely as loud as you can, and keep turning that compression up. Once you stop seeing your voice in the red, you're probably good. For reference, my compression settings on the Go XLR are included in a link below. Finally, and this is a minor thing, but I see it so often, especially with the Blue Yeti. For the love of God, make sure you are talking into the correct part of your mic. With my Shure SM7B, I'm talking right into the top of it. With a Blue Yeti, I'm talking into the side, so that'd be right here. I have it facing up and I'm just talking into the side, the front of it. Every mic has its capsule possibly in a different place. Learn where the capsule is in the mic. Otherwise, it's just going to sound horrible. If I get off target here, it sounds like this. And it changes your sound quality so bad. The thing to keep in mind with all of these settings is that if you overdo it, you're going to sound distorted, you're going to sound robotic, and your sound might cut out. So with every one of these things, a little goes a long way. Don't go cranking everything all the way up, especially compression. Compression will just make you sound robotic. EQ, you crank everything all the way up, you're just going to sound distorted, muddy, and people won't understand you. And if you go back and look at my earlier videos on Twitch, my sound was horrible. It was before I understood a lot of this. So if you have any questions, again, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Join my Discord. All my socials are located down below. And of course, you can see me streaming every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday right here on twitch.tv/WolverineGuyKev. I stream those days at 11 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for Saturdays, it's just 11 a.m. I like my Saturday nights to play some Warzone. And as always, stay safe, everybody.